This is the iPhone 6s and this is the year 2025 and let's see if it's worth buying or not. So first up, I really want to talk about its aesthetics because this one actually looks pretty nice, honestly. If I hold it next to my iPhone 8, there's barely anything different. You can look at the side, the top and the bottom, it all feels pretty much the same. However, this is made out of aluminum, as you can see, and it has decayed pretty badly over the years. I don't know if it's only my unit or yours have a similar issue too. If yes, please comment below. I'd really like to know your opinion on it. And while that is aluminum, this is glass on the front and the back, which to me, it feels more premium, but this feels more sturdy. On the front, however, when you look at it, this one has a button, but it doesn't click. It vibrates when you push it hard enough, while this one has a real button. Listen. It's satisfying, isn't it? And also, I'm trying to hit 1000 subscribers by the end of this year, so if you like what I'm doing, I'd be really pleased if you could support me. Thank you very much. And when you look a little down here, you can see that this one actually has a headphone jack, which I'm really happy to see. While this one means that you need to have dongles like these, and if you lose them, well, no music, I guess. Whilst on this, you can just plug it in and listen to your favorite songs. So, talking about songs, we need to talk about apps, and I can assure you that Spotify actually works, although not completely. However, you cannot see the lyrics for some reason. That's just kind of weird, honestly. On the flip side, however, WhatsApp is no longer supported on this device and you need to update it. So this phone can run iOS 15.8. However, I'm not planning to update it just to keep the aesthetics and the old iOS intact on this device. But this year or the next, none will be able to use WhatsApp on this device, which is such a pity in my opinion because it is actually a gorgeous phone to use even by 2025 standards. What is not really 2025 though is the Lightning port. So most of the devices that we use today are now shifted from this Lightning port to the USB Type-C, but I have controversial opinions on this. First of all, Lightning port always seems to be more secure when you plug it in, and it doesn't have pins inside the phone, whilst on, for example, my Galaxy Buds here, you can clearly see that there's this tiny little contact point there, which can get damaged easier than the Lightning port. And also, this port is much thinner, so you can actually have more innovation and more thinner phones with this, as that seems to be the trend nowadays. But I think Lightning port was a good port if the transfer speeds were up to date. This phone is kind of speedy actually. Comparing it to the iPhone 8, which I'm daily driving now, and you can learn all the reasons for why in this video right there, I'd say that there's not that much of a speed difference. The iPhone 8 has a better chip, it's newer, it can run newer software. However, like when you're launching apps, I don't see that much of a difference. So let's try these side by side. There's nothing open in the background and I'm going to open the calendar app on both of them to see which one actually turns on faster. So that was pretty neck and neck. By the way, I have disabled animations on these, so let's see whether or not weather will open quicker. That was a very bad joke, I'm sorry. Actually, iPhone 6 was quicker. Let's also try the calculator. That was pretty much the same. Maybe App Store? iPhone 6 opened it quicker. Let's try camera. Pretty much the same. So I reckon that because this runs iOS 16, it's actually slower than the iOS 13. So although the chip is newer, the software actually makes it run slower. That's 13, that's 16. That's such a bad move by Apple, I think. Also in the performance, I also would like to play some games on this. So here I have... So as this game is really graphically intensive in my opinion, there are flashing colors, there's sound that plays. It actually runs pretty smooth, actually smoother than I expect. Like the Galaxy A10 that I have, which you can watch the complete video right in the corner here somewhere. It runs much slower than this in 2025. So I think this is a good phone in performance. I should also mention that as does the iPhone 8 and 8, also this one has a fingerprint scanner. There we go, it works, which the modern iPhones don't have, and I really don't understand why. The fingerprint ID is just much better than Face ID in my opinion. It's also more reliable. So, although this phone is newer in terms of software and hardware, there are some things that this one has that this doesn't. And I mean, for example, the parallax effect. So if you pay attention to the wallpaper, when I turn the phone, it actually moves the opposite direction, giving the illusion of 3D, which I really like on this. And also, you could have set live wallpapers to this, so when you hold long to it, it actually played this animation as long as you kept holding and releasing your finger. However, now you can only set these still images. Now we need to talk about cameras. So you can see all the specifications here, but I'm gonna talk you through it now. So just like you did, you have the usual modes at the side. So you got photo, you got the square, you got the panorama, and you have video, slow motion, and hyperlapse. So all the usual stuff. You also have the option to shoot live photos and HDR. These two are actually really close in terms of camera quality, and here are some pictures that you can see right now shot on this iPhone 6. Which I think are pretty neat, honestly. They look nice. Most people will be fine off with this. Now, in terms of usability, this phone is not worth the money you would spend today. It was worth a while ago, but right now it's not worth, especially if you're in Europe and you use WhatsApp so often. And also, in the other parts of the world, app support for this phone will go away in the near future, so you will not be able to watch YouTube or play your favorite games, for example. But if you're going to use this phone as like a media player, occasionally watching videos on your browser and listening to music, I think it's a really good option. First of all, it's thinner than a pencil. Like, it's tiny, it's so thin, it's actually thinner than the iPhone 8. It's really lightweight. It is durable, and if you drop it, nothing happens to it because the back of it is not glass, unlike the newer phones. It's actually aluminum, so it has no wireless charging. I need to mention that. And the fact that it has the headphone jack makes it a really viable option if you want to listen to music on this or use it as an iPod, for example. So if you're going to use it as a media player, I would recommend you to buy this phone because Spotify still works, though there is no guarantee that it will continue working. Apple Music does also work. If you're gonna daily drive this phone, I don't recommend it to anyone buying this unless you're buying it for like remembering the old times or shooting some photos specifically with this lens. But it's frankly the last iPhone to have a headphone jack. But at that point, I'd go with an iPod Touch, honestly. But what do you think? Comment below your ideas below. The thing that I should mention is that if you're gonna buy this phone, be aware that you might be needing to change the battery because look at mine. It's at 68% and it's giving me a warning to go and change it, and when I unplug it from the charger it doesn't even last 10 minutes, it dies instantly, so bear in mind also this caveat. Cheers.